Hello and welcome to this week's episode of ChiroSecure's Empowering Women in Chiropractic. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and right now you will be connected. What are we talking about? We're talking about connections and how important connections are for you. This is not just about your patients. Today is about you. We're going to talk about three specific places you need to be connected. That is in your community, in your practice, and with your peers. So let's talk first and foremost about your practice because as you know, I'm sitting here in my practice, you're probably in yours, eating your lunch, getting ready to start see patients again. You might be doing some work with your staff while you're eating lunch. You know how it goes. And that's the typical day-to-day routine of a busy chiropractor because we're trying to juggle everything. We're trying to be mom, we're trying to be spouse, we're trying to be doctor, we're trying to be teacher, we're trying to be leader in our community, we're trying to be involved in our profession, right? We're trying to do all these things so that we can feel connected and so that we can make an impact, but are you really connected? Now, the funny part is, as we started this webinar, lights out. Everything went out. And we were laughing because before we started, because if you notice my hair looks like I got fried in a socket, it's because I pretty much did. We had a power outage, the lights went out, two of my switches blew out. We're trying to fix those. Fuses are off, fuses are on. We come in here, we get started, and then power goes out again, except this time it wasn't the power, this time it was the internet. So, oh my goodness, right? If you're not connected, you can't do your job. If I'm not connected to the power, I can't turn the lights on. If I'm not connected to the internet, I can't turn our computers on to do notes and take care of patients, right? If you're not connected to your patients, then you're not going to be at your best when it comes to serving them. How do you connect with your patients? You meet them eye to eye. You get there in the room with them and you meet them with what they're presenting with that day. And that doesn't mean that you have to walk in the room and have a conversation about pain or how they feel. It's about how they're functioning, how their body's healing, how they're participating and showing up in their own life, and how your care and their body are able to do the things that they want to do. But your care is what allows their body to go out and be able to be a leader in their community or be a parent on a sports team or participate in the parent teacher association or show up for their school or whatever it is that they do in their day-to-day life, be the best that they can at their job. That's what your adjustment does, and your adjustment is so much more effective when you're able to connect with them on a personal level. And it could be something as simple as, have you been sleeping since your last adjustment? How did that big promotion discussion go? How was that review board that you were up for? How did that go since your last adjustment? Or how were your kids' sports events this weekend, right? Just taking that minute to connect with people on a human person to person level, not a business person level, but a person to person level that says, hey, I'm real too. I'm busy. I'm a mom. I'm juggling all the things. I'm trying to get it all done. And I know you are too. And just honoring the fact that they took the time out of their busy schedule to come into your office to get the care that they need so they can show up in their life as a better person. So taking those few moments to just kind of like breathe and center yourself before you go in the adjusting area so that you're ready to serve allows you to connect with people on such a deeper and more personal level. You know, oftentimes I'll be adjusting and somebody walks by and they kind of wave because I've got T-walls. So they kind of wave as they walk by. And I have to be mindful not to get distracted by the person walking by so that I'm not connected with the person under my hands. And if you know what I'm talking about and you've done that, you've been there, you've made that mistake, you understand. Sometimes you have to remember to stay focused with that person who is entrusting you at that moment rather than just saying hi to the person walking in or walking out or that might have a question. So being connected means being focused. It means being there with that patient right then and there, and giving them all that you have to offer in whatever small little window of time that you get to spend with them. Now, take your connection outside of your office. How are you connecting to your community? How are you showing up in your community? How are you showing up at the restaurants you go to, at the stores you stop at the gas stations you frequent? How are you showing up at the events that you sponsor? How are you connecting with the people that you interact with outside of your office so that they look and say, wow, Dr. Kathy's a leader in the community. Dr. Mary is a leader in the community. Dr. Sue is absolutely doing great things. Or that they say, wow, Dr. Lisa is doing great things. I want to be in her presence. How are you showing up in your community so that your community looks to you as a leader, looks to you as an authority, looks to you as a person with the information that can help them ask better questions and therefore make better decisions? So connecting with your community might be something so simple as when you go out to businesses that you have pens that are personalized with your office information on them, and you hand a stack of these to the wait staff or to the hostess at the restaurant or to the dry cleaner, so that when they are taking notes or taking orders or writing down somebody's requests, they're doing it with your pen. When they leave the bill and the check on the table for someone, they're picking up one of your pens. This is something that I've done for 2 decades, is using personalized pens that I give out in the community so that people are picking those up and that's what they're using. That's just one small way that we make a connection. But you can also sponsor events in your community. You can also be part of local organizations and networking groups. You can do things that matter to you. If you play softball, show up and connect at softball fields. My daughter plays softball. We're at the softball fields. We talk to people all the time. People come to me and ask questions. My son plays football. People get hurt playing football on a regular basis. Who do you think they come to? Hey, Dr. Kathy, can you take an x-ray of my son? Yes, bring him over. As soon as the game's over, we'll go to the office. We'll take an x-ray, just make sure they didn't break anything, make sure everything's fine, right? It's simple things like that. The wrestling team, when my son was wrestling, or the cheerleaders. How are you connecting with the things that matter to you? And it could be a sewing club. It could be a crocheting club. It could be a wakeboarding club. Whatever you are interested in, connect with people and help them understand what you do. And I'm telling you, it's going to make your day-to-day activities that much more fun and exciting, because then you have people that you are connected with coming into the office. It's a lot easier to engage them in a conversation about why chiropractic matters and how what we do makes a difference in their life so they can show up and be the best wakeboarder. Now, there's one more place, and this one I was so recently reminded of, because we have all disconnected a little bit over the last few years, because prior to 2020, you and I saw each other at a seminar. You and I connected over a coffee table or a lobby bar, right? We connected in the back of seminar rooms. You connected with people. We all did. And then we shifted. We went online. Everything went digital. We got more into this and less into the face-to-face, one-on-one interactions, right? Less seminars, less weekends away, more time for family, yes, more time to participate in the personal life, yes, but less time for that peer-to-peer connection. And this weekend, I had the opportunity to go to an event called DE, Dynamic Essentials, where they were honoring the wife of Dr. Didi Umber, who had recently passed. And that personal connection, that being in that space, that watching everybody who loved this woman and loved this man honor him and honor his wife who had passed, and being in that connection. It was such a reminder that we need community. We need community. We can't just be giving and loving and serving and not ever refilling our cups. We need that community as well. And for me, I tend to get filled up in the organizations that I serve on. So for me, that's the GCC, which is the board in Georgia here that we have, the Georgia Chiropractic Council. It is my group at Life University, and it is my women in the League of Chiropractic Women. And every time I re-engage with these groups, it fills my cup. It reinvigorates me. It like charges my batteries and gives me the energy that I need to go out and serve, to go out and be a mom, to go out and be a great wife, right? To my husband. It serves me in such a greater capacity to be around people that are going to build me up and fill me back up, because when you're connecting with your peers, oh my goodness, it reminds you that you're not alone out here doing this. You're not alone out here serving. You're not an island. You're not an oasis. You are part of something magical. You are the magic. You have the magic within, right? It's something that we always talk about in this profession. You have the magic within. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes our light gets dimmed. Sometimes you need to be reminded, or you need to just be loved up on by some people. Sometimes you've got to shed those husks. So if you're not in community with your peers, if you're not getting around other chiropractors, if you're not feeling that chiropractic love, then I'm going to give you a couple suggestions. Every month, the League of Chiropractic Women does 2 events where you can connect right there from your house. You can just jump on and do the Connection Hour or the Empower Hour. It's on the website. You can check that out. It's lcwomen.com. But if you want an in-person thing, let me tell you something. DE just filled my cup. I've got Life Leadership coming up this weekend. It's going to fill my cup. I get to teach at the university next month. It's going to fill my cup. I get to come back to the university. It's going to fill my cup. I get to go back to a GCC event. It's going to fill my cup. And then in November, I get to go back to Arizona for the annual Spiz and Spa. That's going to fill my cup, because that sense of community is so important for us, because we need to feel that just as much as your patients do. And if you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling frustrated, I get that. I get that all the time. If you're feeling like you're just at the end of your rope, then I think one of the things that would help you is just to reconnect with people who can honestly help you recharge. That might be one of your girlfriends in this profession. That might be one of your girlfriends that you go out to dinner with. That might be time away just by yourself, or time with just some close friends or family. That might mean going to an event that's not just online, but where you can actually get a hug from people, and you can actually breathe in their space and share in their joy, and they can share in yours. And you can talk about your frustrations or your failures or your fears or your things that are aggravating you, or your things that you have accomplished, or all the joy that you've experienced, right? But getting in that community is what we need so desperately, because this has become such a disconnected world in the last few years. And now more than ever, you need to reconnect. So plug yourself back in, find a way to reconnect. If you need someone to hug, if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to just throw up on, because sometimes we got to just word vomit on people, then reach out to someone who probably needs the same thing. Reach out to an old friend, reach out to a colleague, or get yourself registered to attend some kind of chiropractic event in the next month, the next week, or the next quarter, but something that's going to reconnect you so that you've got what you need so you can reconnect with them. And I'm pointing to them because right now I've got a couple little kids standing outside my door looking at me like, Dr. Kathy, we're ready for our adjustment. So with that being said, I think I've said more than enough. And Nate says we're done. So I want to thank you so much for joining me right here for ChiroSecure's Empowering Women in Chiropractic. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere and hopefully getting a phenomenal hug from you, sharing in your space, sharing in your joy, hearing your stories, and celebrating all of your success. Ladies, have a great week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. This has been a ChiroSecure production.